What I was anticipating the story being was how are young people's political views being shaped and how are they responding? What kind of influence he's having on young voters, especially on young men voters.
It was kind of like any other assignment. The images I thought would be most important would be the crowd. I didn't really think I would spend a lot of time photographing him necessarily.
I remember wondering if there was going to be any fights. I wasn't really considering gun violence. I was considering, two people getting into a shoving match.
Charlie is one of my favorite people. He is the smartest man I know in politics. Love the guy.
There were also students who were not happy that Charlie Kirk was on their campus.
A little bit scared and disgusted. Yeah.
It was clearly not just UVU students. There were a lot of people who were from the broader community who were there for Charlie Kirk.
There were a lot of older adults with children, elected officials.
Politician Phil Lyman was down there. I got some photos of him getting his photo taken with fans of his down there in the front. There was no kind of credentialing system that I was aware of. There didn't seem to be a place for photographers, for media. I made my way to the very front on the north side, right where he would be. I just kind of stood around and I pretended like I was invisible. I just hoped no one would kick me out of that area.
When I'm in a crowd that big, I'm trying to think about how can I do my job but also remain safe and responsible. And I remember in the amphitheater pit structure at UVU, and just being surprised at how treacherous it felt. It's not really made for the amount of people who were there. And I just remember thinking, this is maybe not a great venue for this many people.
Like coming in person, it's kind of like a sporting event. Like you can watch it on YouTube after. But like definitely going in person, you get the whole crowd vibe, and that kind of makes that experience more memorable.
I was down there watching all of the goings-on behind the scenes. I could see behind the tent some miscellaneous security people back there, plainclothes. And then he started walking up towards the event. He kind of made this gesture like almost like what a pro wrestler would do, like, let's go kind of thing. And it wasn't like mean or anything, but it could have applied to people there in his favor and people against him. It was kind of like, bring it on kind of a thing. He sits down and the line was filled out and he says, we're going to be here for a couple hours. Right before the gunshot went off, I was approaching this railing that was filled with people looking down from the back towards him.
We're not counting gang violence.
Oh my God.
Wait, Cody, go, run.
And all those people that were blocking my view instantly turn, and they're now running at me in terror. I just start photographing. They're ducking and crawling. People are screaming. Oddly, some people are just kind of standing around, not doing anything. Within a few seconds, that railing is clear and empty. I move a little to the right, and I can see everyone in the bowl is running out as well.
My first instinct when the gunshot rang out and everyone dropped to the ground was to stay up and look at what was happening.
There's not a good answer to like how do you balance news gathering and your own safety. News gathering is running towards the danger and safety is running away from the danger.
I had been watching the crowd and their reactions to things that Charlie Kirk was saying.
I was also listening for more gunshots. Is this a mass shooting?
I looked back at the table. He was gone.
This armed plainclothes officer yelling at people, where did it come from? What's going on?
I remember seeing this guy in shorts and a hat who I assume was a plainclothes police officer who was holding a handgun at his side. And I thought, oh, maybe that's the person who fired the shot. Maybe I'm about to be shot.
For the few seconds after the first gunshot rang out, they didn't know if more bullets were coming, if they were next.
It's only been 60 seconds and everything's kind of over.
From there, it was working to verify what had happened.
The grassy, terraced area where everyone had been is empty of people. I think there was like a walker or a wheelchair just sitting there empty. There were still a lot of people just kind of standing around. Police just trying to clear everybody out.
Let's go! Push it up!
Unsuccessfully a little bit.
We started talking to people about what they had seen.
He was talking. We heard the gunshot.
And I could see the blood pumping out of his head.
Everyone just started running.
Everyone ran
bulldozing each other.
And then I just realized I got to get these photos out immediately.
I'm at the Charlie Kirk event at UVU.
As I'm gathering news, I also need to put out a dispatch for our social channels.
There were a lot of other things I could have been photographing at the time. So much was still happening, but those initial 60 seconds was like so much more important than everything else at that moment.
The cell phone network in the area was absolutely demolished because everyone was texting and calling.
Okay, who can I get information from who can speak officially on this? I was talking to law enforcement who were on the scene. There weren't very many officers on the scene at the beginning. Where should I go to get these answers? And really no one could give me the answers, especially right away. I went to the Turning Point USA table.
There were already rumors spreading, almost immediately.
They were hearing word from the hospital that Charlie Kirk was stable. At a traumatic event like this, there will be a place where law enforcement ask media to go. Media staging never materialized. And so it was really hard to get answers as to what was happening.
The PIO is going to go there, and that's where they're going to have media staged.
The university had sent texts that had inaccurate information saying the shooter was caught when the alleged shooter was not caught.
We are evacuating this way, please.
From the first responders I spoke to, the most damaging piece of misinformation that came from the university was that the alleged shooter was caught. Different folks told me that made it much more difficult to clear the campus because students thought they could stay on campus and students thought they were safe when really they weren't. Law enforcement was going room by room of the entire campus trying to clear the buildings and make sure the shooter was not still there.
My task was to put together a video as quickly as possible that we could publish. Between filming it and me editing it, we had to re-record it because between that time, we found out that Charlie Kirk had died.
We were in the courtyard of the school when one attendee...
It was pretty shocking because I hadn't seen him get hit, so I had no idea how serious it was.
I was shocked that it would happen in Utah.
On a day like that, what you have to do is endless, and you just put your own feelings aside and you just focus on your job.
I can't fully express the horror of being at a killing.
The gunshot is one thing, but then it's the screams from people in the audience.
It's just so chilling to be at that situation that your mind is trying to explain it away or change reality on you.
I do find myself on edge a little bit more than I used to. I do find myself feeling more cautious in public than I used to.
The biggest emotional impact was how all of the young people there that day, what kind of trauma they were experiencing. It's a generation where they grew up doing active shooter drills. Where do they go from here?